My name is June Kessler. I'm 33, and I live in a brick shoebox 4 blocks from the Mass Pike, where the traffic sounds like an ocean that forgot how to keep time. By day, I'm a one-woman indie studio. By night, I'm the same thing, just with worse lighting and colder coffee. Boston in October smells like wet leaves and hot pretzels from carts that never close. I code with the windows cracked, hoodie up, headphones half on so I can hear the city breathing and pretend it's my team. I don't have a team. It's just me and a stubborn game called Ghostlight. Ghostlight is a stealth puzzle about being unseen. You play as a stagehand trapped in a haunted theater, manipulating rigging and lighting to expose the truth no one on stage wants the audience to see. It's a little on the nose, but so am I. I've been building it for 2 years between freelance contracts, ramen phases, and a romance with a QA tester that ended in a Trello board. I learned to live within the invisible parts of the internet, the discords with 50 people, the itch.io page with 10 followers, the Reddit comment that gets one upvote and it's you. So when my phone buzzes at 12:14 a.m. on a Tuesday with 37 notifications, I think someone died. I blink the sleep out of my eyes and see the name, Cade Vox. If you don't live online, that name might mean nothing. If you do, your stomach just did the same drop mine did. Cade Vox is an influencer who speaks in uppercase. He does speedrun breakdowns and exclusive finds through a lens that never points away from him. He's charismatic, ruthless, and allergic to credit. The first notification is a DM request. The next 36 are tags. I open the DM with the same curiosity you use to check a bruise. Yo, heard you're cooking something spicy. Can I get a look? Timestamp. Last week. I never saw it. He sent it while I was on a grocery store floor, comparing store-brand soy sauce to the one with the panda. Below it is a second DM. Never mind, got it. Dropping tonight. Congrats. Attached is a screenshot. It's my title screen. My actual private, not-for-public build title screen, with the dev watermark I stamped bottom right in faint gray. JUNEKESSLERGHOSTLIGHT 7.3 private. I stop breathing so hard I hear the radiator hiss like it's finishing my thought. No one has this build except me and 3 testers who signed NDAs. 2 are in Boston. One's in Seattle, and allergic to drama. I click a tag. There's Cade, framed in his neon cave, thumbnail face doing the mock surprise oh. He's titled it, "This invisible game is going to break the internet exclusive." I feel equal parts sick and on fire. I hit play. His intro music punches like it always does, and he's already talking before the logo finish wobbling. This one came across my desk from an anonymous dev, and listen, I don't say this often, this is special. Anonymous dev. I taste metal. This is called Ghostlight, and the demo I got shows some wild shadow mechanics like, look at this. He drops into my opening puzzle, the one with the phantom spotlight you can drag around to reveal switches etched on the floor. He jokes like he found a secret. He misses a QA-only debug pane I forgot to hide in a corner. He calls the theater liminal Hogwarts, and I want to hate how much that rules. He plays for 19 minutes, where it's obvious I comprise one person and a medium-strength will. He hits a bug I literally fixed yesterday. He laughs it off. He calls it charm. At 9:32 he says, "The dev whoever you are if you want to talk, my DMs are open baby." I pause the video and watch my reflection hover over his face. My cheeks are pale, my hair is a mess, there's an imprint of my keyboard on my forearm like a brand. I go to my inbox. There are emails from 3 journalists I follow and a great many I don't. A streamer with 2 million followers wants whitelist keys. Someone else says, "We're a small channel, only 250K subs, but we love indies, can we get build access?" On Twitter, people are saying Ghostlight like it's a thing. On Reddit, someone posted a clip of my rope physics with the caption, "This indie dev just solved 2015's AAA problem." They did not tag me, because no one knows I exist. I click my Git timestamps out of muscle memory. They are my diary numbers that only I can read as nights and doubts and tiny courage. I ping my testers. Junek, did either of you leak? The Boston friend, Rena, replies fast. Rena never lies. She says, "What? No, I haven't touched 0.7.3. I'm still on 0.7.1 and I only play on streamless rigs." I believe her. The Seattle tester, Kai, is still asleep. He wakes up 3 hours after the world does, like his time zone refuses to be bullied. The third tester is Jonah. We dated for 11 months and 9 days. That felt like an episode of a show that thinks silence is dialogue. We broke up in March with a handshake because we are both Midwestern by training, even if we live on two different coasts now. He's in Cambridge, one stop away on the Red Line. His name glows green in my DM list. I stare at it until my phone dims. A sensible person would call a lawyer. A sensible person would send YouTube a takedown, file DMCA, invoke NDAs, do all the adult verbs. But when you are an indie, you learn the only thing you can count on is your own speed. Law is slow. Internet is a microwave set to anger. So I do the only thing I can do at 1:04 a.m., with a half-eaten Pop-Tart becoming a fossil at my elbow. I start recording. I open OBS, stare into my webcam like it owes me money, and say, "Hi, I'm June. I made Ghostlight. This is what happened." The words shake out of me like I'm carrying groceries, and also grief. I show my Git. I show my Trello. I show the watermark burned into Cade's screenshot that he didn't scrub because ego thinks it's bigger than pixels. I'm not angry, I decide. Anger is loud and easy to package. What I am is precise. I don't want to blow up your favorite creator, I say, voice low. I want to show you how this work gets made. I want you to understand that I am not anonymous. I talk about why I hid the debug pane. I talk about the bug he hit, and how sometimes I code at 2 a.m., and then forget to turn on the lights. I talk about the 3 people who have my build, and how all of them have real lives, and none of them are villains in my story, even if I'm feeling villainous right now. I cut in footage of me drawing the level on printer paper with a pencil stub. I cut to footage of my terminal where the commit message reads, "Fix, rope jitter, when spotlight overlaps hinge." I overlay today's date, October, Boston wind at my window sounding like whispering stagehands. I tell them the truth I don't say out loud. I've been invisible for so long it became a kind of home. I keep my voice steady. I stop recording at 2:12 a.m. because the radiator made a sound like applause, and I don't want to be cute about it. I upload the video as devlog #0 who I am and what Ghostlight is and isn't. I set it to private. I make a thumbnail that isn't a scream. I sit very still. My phone buzzes again. It's a text from Jonah. "Jonah, you seeing this?" "Yeah." "Jonah, you okay?" "Me. Not even slightly." "Jonah, call me if you want. Or don't. But check your email." I open my email and there's a new message at the top, with the subject line, "Mutual Benefit Proposal from Cade's team." The body is tidy. A manager writes in soft threats disguised as opportunities. They love my work. They want to amplify. They propose a collab where Cade premieres further exclusive footage with my blessing, and in exchange I get eyes, reach, and a cut of ad revenue that looks like the tip jar at a deli that hates you. There is no apology. There is a line about how the community moves fast, and if we don't move together, the window might close. The window? The window is my life. I screenshot the email and feel the tremor in my hands that only shows up when something you love is being negotiated without you. I hover over reply. Part of me wants to write the most Boston sentence of my life, and hit send. Part of me wants to forward this to a lawyer who's more awake than me. The oldest part of me, the part that created a game about exposing the truth with light, wants to publish my vlog right now and let the world see what happens when you flip a switch. But then, another notification. A Twitter DM, from a burner account with no avatar, no followers, created an hour ago. "You want proof where he got the build?" My heart stops, then sprints. Me. "Who is this?" No answer. Just another message. "Check the VOD. Freeze at 8:17. Bottom left. You missed it. Everyone did." I jump back to Cade's video and scrub to 8:17. I go frame by frame. Bottom left, past the noise and the fake shocked face, there's my UI. And there, for a single frame, the overlay hiccups and reveals a folder path when he tabbed out too fast. Users. The name is blurred by motion, but the next part isn't. Downloads divided by builds, divided by Jonah. I freeze. The radiator quiets like it's listening. Outside, a siren passes and dissolves into the pike's endless shushing. My fingers leave wet marks on the trackpad. I look at Jonah's text thread where his last message is, check your email. I look at the DM from the burner. I look at the word, Jonah, burned into my screen like a match held too close. I don't know if it's a setup. I don't know if it's a coincidence, a cached folder from March, a ghost artifact of a time when we weren't careful with each other's things. I know what it looks like. I toggle my dev vlog from private to unlisted and copy the link. My cursor hovers over the tweet field. My breath fogs the glass of the window, and the city fogs my head. Do I blow it up? Do I call him first? My phone buzzes again, and this time, it's a call. Jonah. I stare at his name as it lights up my dark apartment, and with my other hand, I hover over publish. One of these buttons is about to change my life. I didn't answer the call, not because I didn't want to, but because I knew if I heard Jonah's voice, that steady, low calm, that always made me believe things could be fixed, I'd fold. And folding wasn't an option anymore. Instead, I hit publish. For a second, nothing happened. The upload processed, my thumbnail flickered, and YouTube's algorithm probably yawned. Then, I tweeted the link with one line. Hi, I'm June. I made Ghostlight. Here's what really happened. No hashtags, no thread, just light in the dark. My heart was beating hard enough to blur the edges of my screen. I closed my laptop and stood in the middle of my apartment, listening to Boston's restless hum. It was 3:07 a.m. That quiet hour when the city finally exhales. And then, like the sound of popcorn before it becomes a roar, the notifications started. 8:12 a.m. By the time sunlight hit my blinds, the video had 12,000 views. By 9 a.m., it had 60,000. By 10, journalists were DMing me like I'd invented fire. The comment section was a war zone in miniature. This is so wrong. Credit the dev. Typical influencer move. This woman just schooled Cade Vox. She's clout chasing. Cade didn't do anything illegal. Relax. Queen behavior. For every person who saw the truth, there was another, twisting it into content. Cade Vox hadn't responded yet, but his silence was its own statement. He was calculating. I, on the other hand, was trying not to throw up. By noon, my inbox had become a hydra. Cut one email. 3 more grew. Offers, interviews, friendly check-ins. Even IGN wanted to talk. And then one subject line made me stop breathing. From Jonah Vale. Subject, we need to talk. I stared at it for a full minute. When I finally opened it, it was short. Too short. June, you're seeing ghosts that aren't there. Call me before you make this worse. J. No apology. No denial. Just the kind of gaslight you could build a lighthouse out of. I almost called him anyway. But then I saw the comments again, people tagging me in clips where they'd frozen Cade's video at the exact same second I did. And yes, there it was, that same folder name, Jonah. I wasn't crazy. And Jonah wasn't innocent. That night, I opened OBS again. The glow from my monitor painted everything ghost blue. I hit record. Hey everyone, it's June. I didn't plan on doing another video so soon, but there's more. My voice was steadier this time, sharper. The fear had burned down to something purer purpose. Some of you noticed something in Cade's footage. I did too. And it looks like one of my testers, someone I trusted, was the source of the leak. I didn't say Jonah's name. Not yet. But I didn't need to. The internet was already stitching the clues together, like a crime scene quilt. I played the 8:17 clip, slowed it frame by frame. That folder name isn't coincidence. And before anyone says it, no, it's not photoshopped. That's raw footage from his upload. I paused, letting the silence stretch until even the hum of my computer felt loud. When you work alone, Trust isn't just personal, it's your whole safety net. You can't afford betrayal because there's no one else to fall back on. So yeah, this hurts. I stopped recording. No fancy edit, no music, just me and the truth. I uploaded it, and I waited. Within an hour, number Ghostlight started trending again, but this time, it wasn't about the game, it was about me. And him. People dug up old photos of us from local dev meetups, tagged number X's, number drama, number dev life. Someone on Reddit made a whole timeline titled The Ghostlight Betrayal. It had more upvotes than my entire career combined. By midnight, Jonah finally posted a statement on his personal Twitter. I didn't leak anything. The build in question was one I used for early testing, months ago. If files were accessed from my drive, that's news to me. Please stop the harassment. June knows better than this. June knows better than this. The words cut like glass. He wasn't just defending himself, he was painting me as hysterical. And it worked. Within hours, my DMs split in half messages of support, half calling me a liar, a clout chaser, a bitter ex who couldn't handle being outshined. The internet doesn't believe in truth. It believes in whichever story entertains harder. And Jonah? He was the perfect villain disguised as the calm one. The next morning, I couldn't even open my laptop without shaking. Rena came over with coffee and bagels, wearing an MIT hoodie 2 sizes too big. Girl, she said, dropping her tote bag by my chair, you need to get off Twitter before your neurons unionize. I laughed. A weak, broken thing. It's too late. They already quit. She took the laptop from me, scanning the chaos. He's playing victim. Classic. You need receipts. I have them, I said quietly. Rena looked at me. Proof he leaked it? I hesitated, then nodded. Buried deep in my server logs was a timestamp, one login from a Cambridge IP matching Jonah's machine ID. He'd accessed the private build 2 days before Cade's upload. That was no coincidence. But posting those logs publicly? That was dangerous. They weren't just proof, they were a torch. If I dropped it, something would burn. Rena leaned in. You want revenge? Or justice? I didn't answer. She smiled, not kindly. Same thing, if you do it right. I didn't sleep that night. Instead, I opened a new folder called Divided by Devlog Series. Inside it, I created subfolders labeled Proof, Emails, Screenshots, Logs, and Plan. If Cade wanted an exclusive, I'd give him one, the story of how creators steal and how one dev refused to stay invisible. But first, I needed to bait him. So I drafted a tweet, half truth and full trap. I'll be releasing unseen Ghostlight footage soon, including dev secrets that were never meant for the public. Stay tuned. Within minutes, the tweet hit 5 Kelvin's likes. Within an hour, a DM arrived. From Cadevox. Hey June, saw your tweet. Glad we're moving past the drama. Want to collab for the drop? My team can make it huge for you. I stared at the message, my jaw tightening. He had no idea. No idea that I wasn't moving past the drama. I was writing the final act. Rena messaged me that night. Whatever you're planning, be careful. Internet revenge always comes with splash damage. She wasn't wrong. But sometimes, you don't care if you get burned, as long as the light reaches far enough. So I typed my reply to Cade, slow and deliberate. Sure, let's talk. I'll bring my proof. And when I hit send, I smiled for the first time in days, because for once, the stage was mine, and everyone was about to see what Ghostlight was really about. When I woke up, Boston was drowning in rain. It hammered the windows like a metronome, too fast to match a heartbeat, too slow to drown one. I made coffee that tasted like penance and checked my inbox. Cade had replied at 4:47 a.m., because of course he had. Cadevox. Awesome. Let's record this weekend. You can come on my stream. We'll clear the air and talk Ghostlight. We'll both come out winners. The winky face was doing heavy lifting. He wasn't offering redemption, he was offering stage time. For him, everything was content. Even my anger was an opportunity for views. But that was fine. He wanted content. I wanted confession. We could both get what we wanted. 2 p.m., Thursday. I met Rena at Render Cafe, A tiny spot where everyone looks like they're debugging something emotional. I slid my laptop across the table. She sipped her matcha and raised an eyebrow. Tell me you're not seriously going on his stream. Oh, I'm going, I said, but not as his guest, as his consequence. Rena smirked, half impressed, half worried. What's the play? I'll agree to the stream. He'll think it's PR cleanup. I'll share my screen live and walk through the build history. Every commit, every timestamp, every IP log. Real time, no editing, no spin. And Jonah? I'm not naming him yet, but the proof will. She nodded slowly, like she was watching a chess move that might cost me my queen. You're about to light the internet on fire, June. I know. I took a long drink of cold coffee. It's time. 8:15 p.m. Friday. The apartment looked different under ring light, smaller, harsher, every imperfection amplified. My desk was a battlefield. Cables, notes, a trembling cup of tea. Cade's producer had sent me the stream details. Show up at 8:30 sharp, the email said. We'll run soundcheck, then go live. The title he'd drafted made me laugh out loud. Exclusive. The dev speaks the Ghostlight drama ends here. Ends? Oh, sweet summer child, it was barely beginning. At 8:32, the stream started. His face filled my monitor, that perfect lighting. That influencer charisma so polished it felt algorithmic. Ladies and gentlemen, he boomed. We've got the one and only June Kessler, creator of the viral sensation Ghostlight. His chat exploded. June in the house. Let's go. Apology incoming? I smiled, small, polite, lethal. Hi, Cade. Thanks for having me. Of course. We're all fans here, he said, grin too wide. So, let's clear the air, yeah? A lot of confusion online. You think I stole your demo? I don't think, I said evenly. I know where you got it. The chat slowed for a beat. He laughed the laugh of someone used to owning every room. Oh, come on. You're saying I hacked you? No, you didn't hack me, I said. You were handed the build. Then I shared my screen. Lines of code flickered like starlight across the stream. I opened my Git log, scrolled through dates, highlighted the commit IDs. This is the build you played, I explained. Compiled September 5th. It was only distributed to 3 testers. Each had a unique embedded watermark, invisible during normal play, but visible through debug overlay. I typed a command. A side panel appeared, showing the overlay from his footage faint white hash marks under the UI. These correspond to tester IDs, I continued. Yours reads 03 JV Jonah Vale. The chat went feral. No way. Jonah? Did she just... Oh, this is bad. Cade's grin froze. He glanced off screen, probably at his producer, then back at me. Okay. Wow. That's, heavy. You're sure this isn't faked? Positive. It's cryptographically generated at compile time. I leaned closer to the camera. You didn't know, Cade. I believe that. But Jonah did. The silence was delicious. You could almost hear the pixels sweating. Then, right on cue, a Discord notification popped in the corner of my screen live, in front of 100,000 viewers. Jonah, stop. Take this offline, please. The chat erupted again. She's got him cornered. He's watching Ren. LMAOO, this is wild. I didn't close the message. I let it hang there like a ghost. Looks like he's watching, I said softly. Hi, Jonah. Cade was clearly panicking now. Maybe we should cut to break. No, I said. This is the story, Cade. You wanted content? This is it. Watch closely. I pulled up my email logs next, a simple access record from 2 days before his stream. Here's Jonah's login. Cambridge IP. Timestamped. Accessing the private build directory. And here, I clicked again, is the download to your public folder. 2 hours later, Cade ran a hand through his hair, muttering off mic. Jesus Christ. I looked straight into the camera. The thing about Ghostlight, I said, is that it's a game about exposure. About how hiding in the dark doesn't keep you safe, it just makes you think no one's looking. But someone always is. The stream cut abruptly after that black screen. Technical difficulties. When it came back 10 minutes later, I was gone. Cade looked shaken, sweaty, apologetic in a way that wasn't rehearsed. Yeah, we're gonna, uh, end it there. Things got intense. I'll be making a statement soon. Respect to June and her work. But the damage was already done. Clips flooded Twitter within minutes. The screen share, the Discord ping, the look on Cade's face when he realized he'd been part of someone else's trap. June Kessler trended #1 inch, the U.S. Memes, reaction videos, think pieces all overnight. And then came the email. From Jonah. Subject. You win. I opened it, pulse hammering. June, you humiliated me. You don't understand what you've started. Cade's legal team is already talking about damages. I'm sorry for leaking it, okay? I made a mistake. But going public? You just burned us both. J. I stared at it. Unreadable. Sorry. 2 weeks too late and 4 syllables short of redemption. I forwarded it to myself, archived it, then closed the laptop. Outside, the rain had stopped. The city lights bled gold through the wet glass. For the first time in days, I felt calm. Not happy, not vindicated, just clean. Rena texted me. That was nuclear. You okay? Yeah, I typed back. But something's coming. Because I knew this wasn't over. Jonah wouldn't go quietly. And if Cade's team was lawyering up, they wouldn't either. This wasn't just about a leaked demo anymore. It was about reputation, and those wars are never clean. As I stared out the window, thunder murmured somewhere over the Charles. The next act was forming, and this time, I wasn't sure who'd survive it. The morning after the stream felt like waking up inside someone else's dream. Everything looked the same: my chipped coffee mug, the buzzing fridge, the tangle of cables on the floor, but none of it felt mine anymore. My phone was a war drum. Mentions, emails, calls from numbers I didn't recognize. I poured coffee, but my hands were shaking too much to drink it. Then I opened Twitter. Big mistake. Number, Ghostlight Gate. That was the trending tag now. Not Ghostlight. Not June Kessler. Ghostlight Gate. The internet loves a scandal with symmetry. Half of the posts called me a hero, a crusader for indie devs, proof that creativity could fight back. The other half, they called me vindictive, manipulative, a woman scorned who weaponized outrage for fame. Influencers were picking sides. Podcasts were dissecting my tone. A lawyer on TikTok said I might have exposed myself to defamation claims. And there it was, the real fear, under my ribs. I'd won the moral battle, but legally, that was a coin flip. At 11:03 a.m., I got the email I'd been dreading. From Cade Vox Legal. Subject. Cease and desist. Unauthorized. Disclosure. Miss Kessler, your recent publication of private correspondence and system data has caused reputational harm to our client. We request that you immediately remove all related content and issue a public apology. Failure to comply will result in legal proceedings. No signature, just the team. The kind of email written to sound expensive. I stared at it until the words blurred. Then I laughed. Not because it was funny, it wasn't, but because it proved exactly what I said. They cared more about control than truth. I took a screenshot and sent it to Rena. Me. They're threatening to sue. Rena. Of course they are. When rich boys panic, they call their lawyers. What do I do? Rena. You don't flinch. You document everything. You turn this into part 4 of your dev vlog. I blinked. You want me to record this? Rena's typing dots flickered, then, Rena. They're trying to scare you silent. Don't let them. Transparency got you here, it'll get you through. So that's what I did. I hit record. The camera light blinked red, and I stared into it like I was staring down a firing squad. Hey everyone, so, things have escalated. My voice was calm, deliberate. After last night's stream, I received a cease and desist from Cadevox's legal team. Apparently, showing proof that I made my own game counts as unauthorized disclosure. So, for the record, I'm not deleting anything. I took a long breath. I started this dev vlog to share how games get made. I never thought it'd become a crash course in how power protects itself. But here we are. I showed the email. I blurred the address, because professionalism mattered even when the other side forgot theirs. I'm not here for clout. I'm here because people like me, small devs, solo creators, get steamrolled every day by people who think visibility equals ownership. That stops here. Then I paused. The part that came next wasn't planned. Jonah, if you're watching this, you didn't just leak my game. You leaked my trust. And that's the one thing I don't know how to patch. I ended the recording there. When I uploaded it, I titled it Devlog #4, The Cost of Being Seen. It went viral in under an hour. That night, the internet split wider. The number Ghostlight Gate subreddit hit 50,000 members. Someone made fan art of me holding a flashlight like a sword. Someone else made a conspiracy thread claiming Cade and Jonah were part of a shadow network stealing indie games. That one got more upvotes than both of our careers combined. I tried not to read the comments, but one caught my eye. If she's got all that proof, why not take it to court instead of YouTube? It was a fair question. Because deep down, I didn't want a courtroom. I wanted understanding. I wanted the world to see. But justice and spectacle, those lines blur fast online. Around midnight, my doorbell rang. I froze. Boston doesn't do unannounced visitors at midnight. When I looked through the peephole, I saw a figure in a hoodie, soaked from the rain. He looked up. Jonah. My breath caught. I opened the door an inch. You've got nerve showing up here. He ran a hand through his wet hair. June, please, you need to hear me out. I heard you just fine in your email, I said. You made a mistake, remember? It wasn't supposed to go that way. His voice cracked. The kind of crack that used to make me soften. Not this time. You gave my build to Cade, I said. You let him profit off my work. You didn't even tell me. I didn't give it to him. He looked desperate now. He asked for gameplay footage. I sent him a test clip. I didn't know he had the full build until it was already online. He said he'd take it down, but then he didn't. I finished for him, Jonah nodded. I tried to warn you, I texted, but you were already recording. Recording because you broke my trust. We stood in the doorway, the rain still falling behind him like static. He sighed. You think you won, June, but you don't see what's coming. They're not just going to let this go. Neither am I said. He stepped back, eyes hollow. Then I guess we're both ghosts now. And just like that, he walked away, swallowed by the Boston fog. After he left, I locked the door and leaned against it, shaking. Was he right? Had I gone too far? I opened my laptop again. New notifications. A YouTube channel I didn't recognize. ByteLeak Investigations had uploaded a new video. Exposed. The truth behind Ghostlight. What June isn't telling you. The thumbnail was me mid-sentence, mouth open, eyes wide, frozen in the least flattering frame imaginable. I clicked it, because of course I did. The narrator's voice was smooth, practiced. What if the real Ghostlight isn't the game but the deception behind it? Our sources suggest June Kessler fabricated parts of her proof. Stay tuned for exclusive emails that might change everything. Exclusive emails. My stomach dropped. They flashed a screenshot, one of my old messages to Jonah from before the breakup. Out of context. Edited. Twisted. Maybe letting Cade see a bit could help the hype. It read. My words, but not what I meant. I'd been talking about marketing screenshots, not the build. Still, the damage was done. The video already had 200,000 views. And the comments were full of people saying exactly what I feared. So she was in on it. Typical. She got caught. Now she's pretending to be the victim. Clout chaser energy. I closed the laptop. The city outside was still. Too still. Somewhere between the truth and the lie. I was disappearing again, not invisible like before, but transparent, refracted, distorted through every lens but my own. I whispered to no one. I built Ghostlight to make people see the truth. But now the truth was slipping away. And for the first time, I didn't know if I could get it back. I didn't sleep that night. Boston stayed awake with me. The kind of sleepless hush that makes every sound feel personal. A car door, a distant siren, the low hum of guilt. By dawn, I'd replayed ByteLeak Investigations video 6 times. Every word scraped something raw inside me. I knew what was coming next. Doubt. Once it starts, it spreads faster than truth. So, I decided I wouldn't wait for the fire. I'd walk straight into it. 9:30 a.m. Rena showed up at my door, holding 2 coffees, and a look that said she'd seen the video too. "June," she said, stepping inside. "You've got a storm coming. They're claiming you faked everything." I didn't. I know that. But the internet doesn't care what's true. It cares what's clickable. She dropped her bag on the table. Out came her laptop, a tangle of cables, and one sentence that changed everything. "We fight lies with receipts." She started typing like a hacker in a movie montage. "What are you doing?" I asked. "Pulling your commit history straight from your cloud backups," she said. ByteLeak can edit screenshots, but they can't forge cryptographic hashes. If you show the chain of custody timestamps, IPs, file IDs, you can prove your builds were untouched. My jaw tightened. "You mean go full forensic?" Rena smirked. "Exactly. Make the internet your courtroom." By afternoon, my apartment looked like a command center. Cables everywhere. Hard drives. Notebooks covered in scribbles. We spent hours piecing together the digital paper trail, every push, every email, every timestamp proving I'd built Ghostlight from scratch. Each file was a brick in the wall of truth I was rebuilding. Rena glanced at the screen, squinting. "This one," she said, pointing to a commit labeled JV, test build, 324. "Was Jonah's branch, right?" "Yeah. He cloned this to his local drive. That's the copy that got out. And that's what Cade played." Rena nodded. "Then that's your smoking gun." She leaned back. "So, what's your next move?" I looked at the folder. My heart felt like code caught in an infinite loop. "Simple," I said. "I'm going to show the world how the truth gets built, one line at a time." 7:45 p.m. The camera blinked on. My face looked different now, tired, yes, but steadier. Like a storm had passed and left something sharp behind. "Hey everyone, it's June. Again." I gave a small, dry laugh. By now, you've probably seen the video claiming I faked my proof, that I staged my own leak. That's not just false, it's dangerous. So tonight, I'm going to do what I always do. Show you the work. I shared my screen. A cascade of directories appeared, divided by Ghostlight, divided by core, divided by builds, divided by archive. Every indie dev knows their version history is their diary. This, I highlighted a log file, is mine. I opened it, scrolling slowly. Here's every change I've made to Ghostlight over the last 2 years. Every bug fix, every note, every test commit. Each one has a timestamp, signed by my system. Each one, verifiable. I clicked a build. 0.7. 3. Private. The same one, from Cade's stream. This version exists on only 3 machines, mine, Rena's test rig, and Jonah's. Each one tagged uniquely. Here's the fingerprint from Jonah's copy, the same one visible in Cade's video. I zoomed in on the hash. Proof doesn't lie. People do. I looked straight at the camera. If you think creators should have to beg for credit, then you're part of the problem. We can't keep letting exploitation hide behind charisma. Then, softer. "But I'm not here to destroy anyone. I just want my name on my work. That's it." I exhaled. The truth isn't loud, it's patient. I ended the recording there. When the video went live, it spread faster than the lies ever did. By morning, it had 500,000 views. By noon, journalists were quoting it verbatim. Indie dev turns internet trial into forensic masterclass. Ghostlight creator fights back with digital proof. Even ByteLeak pinned a comment under their own video. "We've reviewed the new evidence and are issuing a correction." Correction. Not apology, but still victory. Cade stayed quiet. Jonah didn't. That night, a new post appeared on his Medium account. "The truth about Ghostlight from someone who was there." I almost didn't click. Almost. He wrote about our relationship, how we met at a game jam, how we collaborated on early builds, how he influenced the tone and design. Influenced. The word made my skin crawl. He claimed he'd contributed to the concept, that I'd erased him out of spite after our breakup. And because the internet loves symmetry, the story caught fire again. People started asking if Ghostlight was really mine. I sat on my couch, reading comment after comment until they blurred. Rena called. You okay? No, I said. He's trying to rewrite it all. Then you don't respond with words, she said. You respond with evidence. What evidence? Rena hesitated. Didn't you say you had old footage, the prototype phase? I froze. In an external drive, buried under my desk, was a folder labeled Divided by Ghostlight, Pre-Alpha divided by Video Diaries from Year 1, when I documented my dev process for myself. And in those videos, I talked to the camera about every mechanic, every idea, alone. No Jonah, no collaborators, no influence. It wasn't just proof. It was origin. I plugged in the drive. The light blinked like a heartbeat. File names scrolled past. Day 1, Concept. MP4, Mechanic Test 2. MK. Lighting Prototype. Notes. MKV. There I was, younger, exhausted, optimistic. In one clip, I said, working title, Ghostlight. It's about seeing what people hide. Kind of personal, I guess. That was all I needed. I turned to Rena. Let's make one last vlog. Dev vlog #6. The beginning of Ghostlight. Before there was drama, before the leak, before all of this, there was just me and an idea. I played the old footage, the shaky handheld clips, the messy desk, my voice uncertain but full of hope. I didn't have followers. I didn't have funding. I just had a story to tell. These videos are dated, watermarked, backed up on 3 drives. They prove what I've been saying since day 1. Ghostlight was mine, start to finish. I paused the video, staring into the camera. Jonah, I don't know what made you think you could rewrite my story, but this is the truth. You can't refactor reality. I let the footage play me coding, sketching levels, laughing alone at my own broken physics. It wasn't polished. It wasn't performative. It was human. And that, somehow, hit harder than any data log ever could. When the vlog ended, I didn't check the numbers. I just sat there, listening to the soft hum of my computer, the same sound it made 2 years ago when Ghostlight was just a dream. Rena texted, "You did it, he can't spin this anymore." Maybe she was right. But something told me Jonah wasn't done, because within an hour, a new email hit my inbox, from redacted at voxxmedia.com. Subject, collaboration proposal. Let's talk. And the body? June, Cade's team is impressed. They think the world loves you now. They want to partner on a documentary. Working title, Ghostlight, the indie that exposed everything. Interested? I stared at the message. After everything, the theft, the smear, the threats, now, they wanted to package it. Turn my pain into content again. The irony was almost poetic. I closed the laptop. Let them talk, I said quietly. I've got my own story to finish. Because Ghostlight wasn't just a game anymore, it was a mirror. And the next time I stepped into the light, it would be on my terms. The email from Vox Media sat open on my screen, glowing like a trap disguised as opportunity. A documentary? About me? About Ghostlight? 2 months ago, I would have said yes, without blinking. Now, every offer felt like a leash. Rena read it over my shoulder. They're vultures, she said flatly. They smell the clicks. I know, I murmured. But maybe that's the point. She frowned. You're not actually thinking of saying yes? I stared at the message again. Part of me wanted revenge to control the narrative, to use their own cameras against them. But another part, the one that had coded Ghostlight alone in the dark, just wanted peace. Still, silence never protected me before. So I replied, let's talk. But on one condition, full creative control. They agreed within an hour. Too easily. 2 weeks later, the cameras rolled inside my apartment. Lights. Lenses. Questions phrased like traps. The director asked, "Do you see yourself as a victim or a visionary?" I smiled. Neither. I'm a developer who got tired of being invisible. Behind the scenes, I noticed one of the producers texting, probably Jonah. He'd resurfaced online, hinting that he had his side ready to tell. I knew they'd want him in the documentary too. And maybe that was good. Maybe the world needed to see the contrast, his charm versus my truth. During one interview, they played a clip from Cade's original leak video. The screen flickered with my stolen build. The director asked softly, "If you could go back, would you change how you handled it?" I looked straight into the camera. No, the truth doesn't need polishing, just light. The documentary premiered 3 months later at a small indie film festival in New York. I didn't go for the applause. I went to close a chapter. The lights dimmed. The title appeared, Ghostlight, the indie that exposed everything. For 90 minutes, the story unfolded, the leak, the fallout, the proof. They interviewed me, Rena, even Kade. Jonah's segment came last. He sat in a shadowed room, his voice calm. I never meant to hurt her. But she turned it into theater. When the film cut back to me, I said, maybe I did. But sometimes you need a stage to show people what they refuse to see. The crowd was silent when the credits rolled. Then, applause. Not thunderous, not viral, just real. Afterward, outside the theater, Jonah was waiting. "Rain again, always rain," he said. "You won," I said. "No. I survived." We stood there, two ghosts of what ambition used to be. Then I walked away. A month later, Ghostlight released officially. It sold better than I'd dreamed. Players called it haunting, cathartic, honest. And when the closing credits rolled, a single line appeared. Dedicated to anyone who's ever been made invisible, you're seen. Because revenge wasn't the story, recognition was. And after all the noise, the lies, the darkness, I'd finally stepped into the light.